Still too dark. Still dark. Okay, this looks okay. I think we're good to go. Okay guys, so this vlog is something a little different. I'm a big fan of Jazza from Draw with Jazza. I'll put a link up in the card. I don't remember which side it's on. It's possibly this side, but it could be this side. I think it's there. I think it's there. It's there. It's there? I think it's there. I'll put a link to his channel. He's like, you'll know who he is. If you're watching this video, if you're one of the 30 something people subscribe to me, you know who Jazza is. So anyway, he did a Skillshare course, and in that course he wanted people to do like a submission thing, and I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know if I'm doing it right at all, but this is going to be my little submission to that. I don't know if I'm doing this right. It may be completely wrong. We'll see. We'll see how we go with this. I don't know if it's right or not, but anyway, let's get into it. Okay, I don't know if I'm doing this right, so forgive me if I'm not. I may have misinterpreted the message slightly. The purpose of this submission video thing, or this vlog, is to... Let me start again. Jazza put up this Skillshare course which is about presenting to camera. Can you hear these birds? It's insane. So Jazza put up this Skillshare course on presenting to camera and all of that. So basically at the end of this course he asks people to create a video talking about their sandwich, which is like a code word for video production thing. I think, again, I don't know if I'm explaining this 100% right, but basically if I mention a sandwich, it's a metaphor for the whole process and the whole thing, everything that goes into making a video. So let's start off with the whole pre-production part, because that's actually something that I've been taking a lot more time into putting together over the past couple of weeks, and it's actually making things like way more enjoyable for me in terms of making videos, because the pre-production is basically everything from the camera that I'm recording on to like where I get my audio, my lighting, all of that. So let's get into it right now. Okay, so the camera that I'm recording on is a Canon EOS 700D, and this is a really good camera. It's not like a top of the range camera, but it's a really good DSLR, and it's just good for making video content. It's good for, you know, recording video. I can shoot 1080 on this, and it's good. It's enough. Obviously it's not the best camera in the world, but it's still really good, and it's way better than what I used to use, which was a Canon 1100D, which is just, it's not meant for video at all. So that's the camera that I use, and then for audio, right now I'm just using a shotgun mic which is already mounted onto the camera, and that's really good. That's really good audio for what I'm using this setup primarily for, which is making content like this or vlog style content, and this is just, it's good enough for what I'm doing at the moment. And I just have a dead cat mounted on that because dogs are superior. And the audio from the shotgun mic that's more than enough. That's good enough for what I need. So that's the main camera and audio stuff that I use, but sometimes depending on the video that I'm making, I might bust out my webcam, which is a Logitech C922, a really good webcam. I use that often, and that's really it for camera gear. But sometimes if I do need a secondary camera, I will use my Samsung S7 Edge. The reason I'll use that is because the camera on that is really good, so I can get some really good 4K footage on that if I need it, and the 1080p on it is really good as well. I can shoot in slow motion, I can shoot time lapses and hyperlapses, or whatever it's called. It's just really good. It's a really good camera, and it's possibly better than what this DSLR can shoot, but at the same time a DSLR is going to give you certain things that a phone just can't. So that's the reason that I like to have the phone as a backup camera, and it's just really good. It works really well. So all of the B-roll that you've been seeing in this video, I shot on this phone. I shot it on this, and I shot it using the phone mounted on a gimbal, and that's what I did to get the B-roll footage for this video. So fun fact. Okay, so that's it for like the gear that I mainly use. I have my computer, which, you know, you need one of them to edit videos on. you don't actually, you could probably use your phone or an iPad or something. I have a computer that I edit on, and I edit using Premiere Pro. Other things that I might use depending on the video are OBS for screen recording, or if I'm using my webcam, stuff like that. What else do I use? Audacity for audio, because I'm cheap. I probably should just get the Adobe sound recording thing instead of being cheap, because I already have the Creative Cloud, so I'll definitely start using that. Photoshop for thumbnails, and that's really it. Okay, now this part that I actually want to talk about is the next little bit to like my whole pre-production thing, and that is sort of my lighting and my set dressing. So let's talk about that, because that's something that I've been really hyped up about over the past week and a bit. Okay, so let's talk about the other pre-production kind of stuff that's not to do with cameras or gear exactly. This stuff's a little bit different. So my lighting and my whole setup situation has changed a lot over the past week and a bit, kind of maybe 2 weeks. The reason being is because, okay, let me break this right down for you, and I may ramble, sorry if I do. Basically, when I make videos for YouTube, I like to think about the content that I like to watch and what I wish my favorite creators would make more of. So when I see Casey Neistat make a video, or Peter McKinnon, or Jazza, or whoever it may be, I like to always think about the content that I like best from them, and I like to think about what I'd like to see more of from them, and I try to make that content. Not exactly the same, obviously, but I just try to make the content that I wish there was more of, I guess. Now, sometimes I don't always do the best job at that, but one thing that I really like in videos that I watch is having a lot of visual interest, or having a lot of variety in the things that I'm seeing throughout the video. So Casey Neistat's studio is like the perfect example. Whenever he's in that studio, no matter where he sits, no matter what direction the camera is facing, there's always something visually interesting to see. And I kind of want that for this studio space. So over the past week, I've been really changing things around. Now, I still just have a studio set up in my bedroom, but if you look around in here right now, like if I just teleported you into this spot, for the most part, you wouldn't be able to tell that you're in a bedroom at all, because it's blocked off. It's like a fully separate space. I'm lucky enough to have a fairly big room that I can do that. So I have a separate bedroom space and then my studio space, which is just this fully functional setup where I can pretty much sit anywhere in here, and it's a totally different setup, but it's also visually interesting-ish, okay? And that's sort of my little special secret sauce that I like to put into these videos that I'm trying to implement more. Now, in the past, I haven't really done it effectively, but I always like to have something visual in the background for you guys to look at. So in some of my older videos on my art channel, I'd have the big wall with all of my artwork up on it, or a shelf with stuff on it, or just something. But in this studio right now, I can move around and set up the camera, and there's always a different background, but there's always something to look at. That's something that I enjoy about my videos. I think that that's something interesting and something that sort of helps make them a little bit easier to watch. So that's something that I like to do, and over the past week and a bit, I've really been focusing on making this space versatile space, so I can sit in basically any position and face any direction in this studio, and it's going to be a decent background. You know, there's always going to be something interesting to look at, and you don't have to see the same thing all the time. And that's just something that I like to have in my videos. So I've been really messing with the lighting. So in here right now, all of the lighting is fully controlled by me. Now, I do have the window opened a little bit just so that there's some natural light coming in, but for the most part, I've got everything set up so that I can film at whatever time of the day that I want, and it's gonna look consistent, it's gonna look the same, and I can fully control it. So I have a light over here, I have 2 lamps over here that I have lighting up the wall, and one pointing on me. I have another light over up there with a colored bulb that I can change. I have an extra directional light on that I can have pointing at me that gives me some yellow tinted fill light, which I think that just looks decent. It's not that ugly yellow, you know, it's that kind of nice relaxing shade of yellowy. And then also to add to that, just to give it a bit of visual interest, I'm backlighting my computer screens with some LED lights, and eventually my whole desk is going to be lined with that. It's just stuff just to make things a little bit more visually interesting. So if I'm ever doing just some talk to camera stuff, you know, there's lighting and little pops of color everywhere, and it just gives your eye something to look around and explore. And that's something that I like to do in my videos, you know, just include little nuggets, little bits and pieces of visual just stuff, just to give you things to look at and things to explore while you're watching or listening to what I'm talking about. So, you know, light, color, and, you know, little Easter eggs in the background of the video, just little things to help you keep interested in the video. And I think having multiple different backgrounds and different things I can use just helps with that. Doing a lot of hand gestures, I don't know what the go with that is. So that's that. And yeah, I need to go back and watch the rest of the Skillshare course to talk about what exactly I've missed. I think I've got this all in the complete wrong order. I'm gonna just go refresh my memory a little bit. I'll be back. Alright, so that's it. That's all I wanted to do for this video. I thought it would be cool to maybe use this opportunity to do Jazz's Skillshare project submission thing as part of the vlog. I don't know, let me know what you thought. Thought it might be a little bit interesting for you people that are gonna comment on Skillshare. Please be nice. Please be nice. This ugly face was not made for camera. So, you know, just be kind. Be kind. Be kind. That's it. Expect a full, amazingly tense, incredible vlog tomorrow. Alright. I'll see you then.